Today we're going to do a little bit of horsing around, a little bit of seahorsing around. I'm going to take an empty canvas bag and I'm going to go ahead and add this beautiful seahorse applique right on top. Now in this case the applique is really close to the size of the bag, so I'm going to fudge a little bit on where I put a couple of the bubbles, but other than that we're going to go ahead and get this on here. So come in close and I'll show you what we're going to do. Today we're going to be putting this seahorse on this empty burlap bag that I'm going to use as a wine bag for a gift. Now as you can see, there's two issues. One is that this is going to be a little bit tight fit for this bag, so I'm going to make a few adjustments. Also, this pattern is not going to show through this heavy bag even with a light box because of all the layers. So I'm just going to get this lightly in place where the bottom piece is going to start, and I'm going to work my way up. I already have the pieces laid out over here so that I can see the position that they're going to go in, and I can go ahead and get started. So this first piece, I'm just going to hold it in place and slide the paper out. And I'm just going to finger press that long enough to get the pieces stuck into place lightly, and I'm going to do that again, slide this out, and if I keep managing to do that with a little bit of accuracy, then I can get these pieces laid into place. And once I get the basic form of it, then I can go ahead and get the rest of these in. Now these few pieces I have already peeled the fusible backing off. But not all of them have been peeled off yet. This is right about where I'm going to start needing to peel off some of these papers. Now all of these pieces are laser cut, and we believe that the laser cutting gives a really crisp edge on the applique and helps keep it sharp and fray less than traditional cutting with scissors. That's why we can do these applique without top stitching. Also, the Steam-A-Seam 2 that we use is completely permanent if it's fused properly. Now I'm not having any problems getting these papers peeled off of the backing, but if you ever have a problem, you can score the paper with a pin or with a seam ripper, and that helps give you something to grab onto when you're doing the removal of the paper backing. Now I can see right where that goes. We're almost probably 3/4 of the way finished here. Now I just have some bubble placement, and I'm just going to lay this back on here just so I can get a pretty good idea of where they went. And with these other little ones, I'm just going to place them as close as I can to the edge of the seam without going over the seam, because I don't think they would fuse properly over that big lump that is the seam allowance, especially since the burlap is so thick. These are going pretty quick. I've only got 3 pieces left, and then it's down to the fusing. Now I may not get all of these bubbles in, so I may not use all of them. I think what I'm going to do is put 2 of these on the back. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily have to use every single piece, but in this case it would help tie the front and the back together. Now, I don't have steam in my iron, but I did use the mister bottle to get some water on top of the applique, because the Steam-A-Seam 2 does require steam to activate the adhesive, and you cannot overheat this Steam-A-Seam 2. The most common issue you'll have is not fusing long enough on your project, but in this case this will never get washed, and we won't do any top stitching or quilting on this at all. So I really do want to make sure that I get it fused properly. So I want to make sure I get right up to the edge of those pieces on the seam so the iron's not up on the bump. So I'm making good contact with all of the pieces of the applique. When I was young, my friend was going to Florida for vacation with his family, and he wanted to bring me something back, so he asked me what he could bring me back from Florida. And the only thing I could think of in Florida that I would want was a seahorse. And of course I thought seahorses were just swimming around in the ocean right at the beach, waiting for people to pluck them up and bring them back as souvenirs, just the way children think. And I was so disappointed when he got home with a couple seashells from the souvenir store, and there wasn't even a seahorse fossil amongst them. But just that quick, we have all of the pieces fused in place. We even have a little bit of design on the back in this case. And now my bag is ready to go. And I just happen to have a couple bottles of wine here that I could tuck in here. And I think this would make a really nice gift for somebody, or a really nice gift for yourself. It would be great to take on a picnic. You could get something like this and use it for quilting supplies if you were going on a quilting retreat or to a guild meeting. But this is a great way to identify your items, and you can see how quick and easy it is. And just like that, you have a seahorse bag. See you next time.